Next April, you walk out to your garden. No weeds. Not a single one. Soil black and crumbly like chocolate cake. You pick up your shovel, then set it back down. Don't need it anymore. Soil's so soft you can dig with your bare hands. How do I know? Because I do one thing in November, then sit on my butt all winter. Right now, most people are out there tilling their soil, digging, turning, breaking their backs. Fertilizer companies are laughing. They know you'll have to buy their stuff come spring. But old-growth forests never till. And they've been growing 2,000 years. I learned how forests work. Lazy, but smarter than anyone gardening by the book. The materials I use? Free. Your neighbors are throwing them on the curb right now. By the end of this video, I'll show you the one thing 90% of gardeners forget to do. That's why their gardens die in May while mine runs itself. But first, I gotta tell you about the secret city underneath your feet.
Under your feet, there's a city. Not some flowery metaphor, I'm dead serious. 1 teaspoon of soil has more microbes than people on Earth. 8 billion microbes in 1 teaspoon. And these workers labor for you 24/7 for free. Fungal mycelium, that's your highway system. They transport water and nutrients from one end of your garden to the other faster than you can water. Bacteria, construction crew, they turn compost into soil, turn death into life. Earthworms, engineers, they dig tunnels, aerate, drain. You don't need a tiller, they till for you. But just like any city, if you don't pay the workers, they leave. And when they leave, the city collapses. Weeds take over, pests move in, soil turns hard as concrete. So what do we pay them with? Compost. But don't spread compost in spring like everyone else does. That's the biggest mistake. Fall is when you feed. I know what you're thinking. Fall compost? All the nutrients will wash away over winter. Wrong. That's synthetic fertilizer, the stuff companies want to sell you. Synthetic fertilizer is water soluble. One rain, your $30 washes down the storm drain. Compost? Not water soluble. Nutrients lock in there. Rain, snow, freeze, doesn't matter. It stays put. Better yet, when you spread compost in fall, you give nature 3 months to balance it. Your compost running hot? Too much nitrogen? No problem. Winter mellows it out. Too acidic? Bacteria adjust it. By April, it's perfect. Synthetic fertilizer is like fast food. McDonald's burgers for your plants. Quick, then gone. Then plants starve again. Compost is a home-cooked meal. Slow, steady, nourishing long-term. Now, if you're 70 years old, like a lot of folks watching this, you don't need to haul 50-pound tubs of compost. I'm serious, don't do that. Use a small 2-gallon bucket. Make 10 trips, your back will thank you. Or buy a kid's wagon, the kind toddlers sit in. $15 at Walmart. Pulling is way easier than pushing. Whoever designs kids' stuff knows how to make things gentle. And when you spread compost, don't shovel by hand, use a garden rake. Let the rake do the work. You just stand there and pull. No bending, no back pain. Spread a thin layer. 2 inches is plenty. Doesn't need to be thick. Thin, but even. Cover the entire soil surface. Because remember, nature never leaves soil bare. And now for the part fertilizer companies hate most. The part they don't want you to know. After feeding the underground city with compost, we gotta protect it. Protect from wind blowing it away, from rain washing it off, from sun drying it out. And just like old-growth forests, we lay a mulch layer on top. Materials I use? Wood chips from the power company, leaves from neighbors, cardboard from Amazon boxes. They're throwing it away. You turn it into gold. Free wood chips? Call your local power company. Ask when they're trimming trees in your area. Tell them you have a free dump site. They'll be thrilled because they gotta pay to dump those chips somewhere. You save them money. Live in the city? No power company trimming trees? Walk your neighborhood this fall. Neighbors are raking leaves, bagging them, leaving them curbside. Take them before the garbage truck does. They're throwing away gold. You're picking it up. And cardboard? Every house has it. Amazon boxes, delivery boxes. Peel off the tape, remove the labels, done. But right now, 1 million people are going to comment, "Wood chips rob nitrogen from the soil." This is where real science comes in. Wood chips only rob nitrogen if you mix them into the soil, if you till them in, turn them under. But nature doesn't do that. Nature lays on top, doesn't mix into the bottom. Let me make this simple for you. Imagine carbon is a dry sponge. Nitrogen is water. If the sponge sits on the table, it doesn't touch your water. But if you shove it into the glass, it sucks everything up. Wood chips on top of soil? Sponge on the table. No problem. Wood chips tilled into soil? Sponge in the glass. Sucks all the nitrogen. Fertilizer companies don't want you to know this, because if you mulch correctly, you don't need to buy their fertilizer anymore. Wood chips break down slow, all winter, spring, through summer. Each chip is a tiny sponge, holds water. Your plants never get thirsty. And when it fully breaks down, it becomes soil. Carbon-rich soil, the kind old-growth forests have. Now, bonus tip that 90% of people skip. Inoculate your wood chips with wine cap mushrooms. This is an edible mushroom. You plant it, not some random fungus. But the magic? Its mycelium turns wood chips into soil 3 times faster. Don't need 3 years, just 1 year. And it's safe for dogs and cats. Not like random mushrooms popping up. Wine cap you control. Where to buy? Amazon has it. $15 for spawn that covers 100 square feet. Sprinkle spawn on wood chips. Water. Done. 6 months later, mushrooms pop up. You eat mushrooms, soil gets improved. 2 benefits from 1 task. Lazy, but smart. But there's one problem I gotta be honest with you about. A problem nobody wants to talk about. Cardboard and wood chips create homes for voles. I gotta be honest with you. Cardboard creates homes for voles. Field mice. They nest under there. Warm, dark, safe, and sometimes they eat your plant roots. I lost 2 rhubarb plants last year because of this. But here's the truth. If you don't use cardboard, you'll lose your whole garden to weeds. Weeds compete for water, compete for nutrients. Your plants slowly die. So what do you choose? Lose 100% of your garden to weeds? Or lose 5% to voles? I choose to lose 5%. And I've got 3 ways to minimize it. Method 1. Plant precious plants in pots. Rhubarb, asparagus, strawberries. These go in pots. Bury the pots in the ground. Roots are protected, voles can't get in, but plants still get insulation from surrounding soil. Won't freeze. 5-gallon pots work fine. $10 each. Method 2. Hardware cloth. 1/4-inch mesh. Lay the mesh under cardboard in raised beds. Voles can't dig through. $15 for a 4x8 foot bed. One-time investment, lasts forever. Method 3. Peppermint oil. Voles hate this smell. Drop peppermint oil on cotton balls. Scatter it 4 corners of beds. Replace every 2 weeks. $5 bottle of peppermint oil lasts all season. Which method is best? Depends on you. Only got a few precious plants? Use pots. Got lots of beds? Use hardware cloth. On a tight budget? Use peppermint oil. Or use all 3. I use all 3. Pots for rhubarb, hardware cloth for strawberry beds, peppermint oil for everything else. And I still lose a few plants every year, but I don't lose my whole garden to weeds. That's real gardening, not book gardening. Now, the question I get asked most is, when do I do this? And the answer isn't a month. The answer is temperature. People ask, what month do I do this? Wrong question. Soil in Maine is different from soil in Texas. November in Maine, ground's frozen solid. November in Texas, you're still growing tomatoes. So don't look at the calendar, look at the thermometer. Simple rule. Do this before the ground freezes, but after plants go dormant. Plants still green and growing? Wait 2 more weeks. Leaves all dropped? Soil still workable? That's your window. If you want specifics, here's the breakdown by zone. Zone 3 to 5, cold north. Leaves are done falling, ground hasn't frozen yet. Usually October, early November. Zone 6 to 7, moderate middle. Nighttime temps drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Usually November, early December. Zone 8 to 10, warm south. Rainy season starts, daytime temps below 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Usually December, January. But general rule, watch overnight temps. If overnight temps are still above 60 degrees, plants haven't gone dormant yet. If ground's frozen solid, you're too late. Somewhere in between is perfect timing. Spread compost, lay mulch, done. Then you go inside, sit by the fireplace, drink hot chocolate, while underground workers labor all winter for you. They eat the compost, turn it into soil. They dig tunnels, aerate. They balance pH, boost nutrients. You do nothing. That's smart lazy. Come spring, 2 weeks before your last frost date, you go back to the garden. But not to rake all the mulch away. That's heavy work. I don't do that anymore. I do this instead. Mark your planting spots. Use a measuring tape. Spacing depends on what you're planting. Tomatoes, 24 inches apart. Lettuce, 8 inches. Mark each spot. Then only rake mulch away at those spots. 6 to 8 inch circles. That's all you need. Leave mulch between plants. It still blocks weeds, still holds moisture. You're just creating little planting pockets. Instead of raking 100 square feet, you're only raking 15 small pockets. 85% less work. Black soil shows through in those pockets. Black soil absorbs sunlight, warms up fast. Your seedlings get a better head start. And bonus, when you push mulch away from seedlings, you're also pushing pests away. Because bugs live in mulch. Mulch didn't bring them, they were already there. But when plants are young and weak, keep them away from mulch. When plants are older, stronger, over a month old, you gradually scoot mulch back toward the stem. By then, plants are tough enough to fight pests, and mulch starts holding moisture for roots. Simple, gentle, smart. And now the thing 90% of people skip. This is why their gardens fail in May, while mine stays green. Soil testing. That's what 90% of people skip. They add compost, lay mulch, plant seeds. Then in May, tomatoes get blossom and rot. Garlic turns yellow. Strawberries won't fruit. They think, what did I do wrong? I added compost. Compost isn't a magic pill. If your soil's deficient in calcium, compost doesn't have enough calcium to make up for it. If your soil's deficient in sulfur, garlic will yellow no matter how much compost you add. You need to know what your soil lacks. And the only way to know? Test your soil. But not now, not in fall, spring, after you rake mulch away. Because now the underground workers have labored all winter. Compost's been broken down, balanced. Now you know what's still missing. Lots of people say soil testing is expensive. Not necessarily. I'll give you 4 options, from free to $50. You choose based on your budget. Method 1.
Jar test. Free. Put soil in a glass jar, add water, shake hard. Let it sit 24 hours. Soil separates into layers. Sand on bottom, silt in middle, clay on top. You know the ratio of each. Know if your soil is loamy, clay, or sandy. Doesn't tell you nutrients, but tells you texture. Free. Do it at home. Method 2. Vinegar and baking soda. Free. Tests pH roughly. Put soil in 2 small cups. Cup 1, add vinegar. If it fizzes, soil's alkaline. Cup 2, add baking soda and water. If it fizzes, soil's acidic. Nothing fizzes, soil's neutral. Not super accurate, but gives you an idea. And free. Method 3. Basic test kit. $15. Dollar Tree has them, Walmart has them, Home Depot has them. Tests NPK plus pH. Not perfect, but good enough for regular folks. You know if you're short on nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. $15. Use it multiple times. Method 4. Lab test. $30 to $50. Send a soil sample to a lab. MySoil, UMass Extension, or your local university lab. They tell you everything. NPK, micronutrients, exact pH, organic matter. Most expensive, but most accurate. And you only need to do it once every 3 years. $30 divided by 3 years. $10 a year. Cheaper than a bag of fertilizer. Which method should you choose? No money? Jar test and vinegar. Got $15? Buy the basic kit. Serious about your garden? Send to a lab. All of them are better than not testing. When you get results, you know what to add. Low nitrogen? Blood meal, $5 a bag. Low phosphorus? Bone meal, $6. Low calcium? Crushed eggshells, free from your kitchen. Low potassium? Wood ash, free if you've got a fireplace. Low sulfur? Epsom salt, $3 at the pharmacy. You don't need to buy expensive NPK fertilizer. You just need to know what's missing, then add that specific thing. Target it. Precise. No wasted money, no harmed soil. But there's one source of micronutrients you're pulling out every week. Weeds. Weeds aren't the enemy. They're doctors for your soil. Dandelions growing? Your soil lacks calcium and is too compacted. Clover growing? Soil's low on nitrogen. Crabgrass growing? Soil's too compacted, no air. Plantain growing? Soil's acidic. Every weed is a sign. They don't grow randomly. They grow because soil is crying for help. And the beautiful part? Their roots dig deep, pull micronutrients up. When they die and decompose, they return those micronutrients to the topsoil. They fix the soil themselves. I've got a whole video on how to read weeds, how to know what your soil lacks just by looking at which weeds are growing, then how to use those exact weeds to fix the problem. Costs nothing. Don't need to buy fertilizer. That video's in the corner up top. Weeds are the answer. Watch it. It'll change how you see your garden. Remember, nature's been doing this 2,000 years. No tilling, no digging, no fertilizer. You just gotta copy it. Mulch the soil, feed the workers, let them labor. Lazy, but smarter than anyone gardening by the book. See you in April with a garden that runs itself.